If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe down below. So today's video is going to be possibly a wake-up call to a lot of us out there who think that we can actually fight. Have you ever seen a fight and thought, well, I would have done this or I would have done that, and I would beat the other person easily? Because to be honest, I've had a lot of those thoughts myself. But these guys prove that your confidence will fail pretty fast, and your actual ability to react in an adrenaline-filled moment will not be as great as you would hope. So let's get started with a list of these 10 people who challenged highly trained fighters and lost badly.
It's the opening bell! Oh, what a knockout! No way he'll get up from that. Fight's over! Ashley Sexton wins in amazing style!
Charlie Zelenoff is a YouTuber who posts videos about how good he is at boxing and boasts that he is a UBF world champion and that his record is 162-0. He has shown clips where he goes around to local gyms and challenges fighters and beats them.
Get him.
But as you will see in this clip, he easily loses when he challenged the ex-professional boxer Floyd Mayweather Sr. And keep in mind that this is an old Mayweather, and he was still able to win pretty easily. Until of course, the coward Zelenoff sucker punched Mayweather. You can see in the beginning of the video that he has a smirk on his face because of his early flurry, but that soon changes. Zelenoff has no technique. He turns his back to the other fighter when trying to get away and drops his hands way too much when throwing punches. Zelenoff will appear again on this list after he challenged the current WC World Heavyweight Champion Deontay Wilder, where he really got his ass kicked, so keep on watching. I'm pretty sure that we have all heard the saying that those who can't do, teach. But that has never been a bigger lie when you see this Muay Thai instructor teach a lesson to a street fighter who challenged him. We can see that in the beginning the instructor is toying with him a little and decides to raise the hopes of the street fighter, who was throwing some really bad kicks with very little technique. The kicks coming from the instructor are pretty soft at the beginning, but then he throws this kick with some real power, and the street fighter did one of the worst things possible, and that was try to catch the kick away from your body. Which obviously he naturally missed and got knocked out. His worst mistake was getting up with such a fury, since the instructor got a little annoyed and ended him with the same damn kick again. Here we have a cocky 20-year-old street fighter challenging a 15-year-old kid to a boxing fight. Alias Aguilar is a 15-year-old trained boxer who puts on a clinic against the street fighter. You can see the difference in technique immediately, although the street fighter does throw some pretty good punches at the beginning that seem to wobble Alias. But as the fight goes on and the street fighter appears to get tired and starts dropping his hands badly, Alias starts connecting with good punches. You can see that the street fighter pulls his head back in order to avoid the punches, which limits his much longer reach. Head movement is extremely important, and the street fighter has none, while Alias is dodging the wild punches with excellent head movement. Finally, the street fighter almost never punched the body of Alias, but he got destroyed by them.
They want to fight. Let's go. Break! Break! Over there.
This guy in the white gloves is an ex-professional boxer in South Korea who makes money by allowing other people to try and hit him. He is supposed to just dodge and block the punches, but here comes this overly confident guy who tells him to punch back. And the boxer agreed, but he would only use his left hand. If you pay attention here at the beginning, the guy starts showing off and then throws two punches. But I can guarantee that he didn't throw them with bad intentions. It's mostly like saying, look, I'm not even taking this seriously, but I can still hit you. Which of course he didn't, so he started to get more serious after he looked foolish. I know that this is what he was doing because I have done this plenty of times. He did eventually get two really good punches in there, which woke up the boxer, who ended the fight with one single punch. Noboru Uchida is an ex-professional kickboxer who now owns a gym in Saitama in Japan. He got challenged by a regular guy who was considerably smaller. This is such a stupid thing to do with that difference in size. The challenger has pretty good technique, but he is so much smaller that after Uchida feels his kick and punching power, he knows that he is not going to get hurt. So he just drops his hands and takes every hit, with a giant smirk on his face. This fight seems like when a kid is punching an adult and the adult just takes the punches since he knows that nothing is going to happen. I do have to give it up to the challenger because he did take quite a bit of punishment and kept coming back for more. But we knew this was going to end by him losing. Here we have another random guy off the street walking into a boxing gym and saying that he can knock out anybody they put in front of him. So the instructor decided to put his 14-year-old boxing amateur fighter, Little Omar, up to fight him. So the guy off the street decides to start the fight by acting like this will be an easy match and doing silly moves that you see in the movies. To be honest, I don't know if this guy is drunk or not. The kid never stops taking the fight seriously, so he got 2 quick punches in and then knocked him down with another swift left hook. So then we see the tough guy just quit on the whole situation. He seems to be complaining about the age of Omar, but it just seems to me like he lost and doesn't know how to get out of the situation.
He's 14 years old! He's 14, dude!
That's why I asked you if you want to hate here.
In this clip you have another cocky fighter who thinks he can take on a highly trained MMA fighter. The MMA fighter is King Webb, who is an instructor and has a gym in Texas. This guy challenged him multiple times, telling him that jiu-jitsu doesn't work and that he could beat him with his taekwondo, boxing, and aikido martial arts. After multiple attempts, Webb finally accepts the fight, and here we can see what happens. I have to think that the challenger started feeling a little confident after the first kick from Webb, where he falls down, but as we will see, that fall meant nothing. They actually fought 2 matches where on the first Webb ends the fight with a triangle choke. After going to the ground, the other guy had nothing and was beat pretty fast.
Stand back up, King.
Yeah, that triangle was a mother.
The second match started with some swift punches and kicks to the face, which the challenger didn't even touch with his hands. Then the inevitable happens when you don't put your hands up. He got knocked out with a kick to the face.
Side kick, side kick. Oh, and we're done.
So most gangbangers don't know how to really fight. They really don't know how to use a gun. So when you have one walk into an MMA gym and challenge a trained fighter, they are going to get knocked out, as happens in this video. You can immediately see that the challenger has nothing to do. He has his hands down thinking that he's fast enough to block the kicks and punches after they are thrown, which never works out. I have no idea what happened here because he didn't even try to catch the punch. He also put his hands up too late and didn't even try to move his head. I think he fell for the very slight feint that the MMA threw and he just got destroyed. Alan Green is a professional boxer and he is challenged by bodybuilder Rambo Guns to a boxing fight. I assume that Rambo is too overly confident in his abilities due to his years of weightlifting, where he is probably always told that he has a great body and is really strong. But that doesn't necessarily translate to boxing. At first, Rambo seems to have pretty good leg movement and head movement, but his punching is terrible. His jab doesn't have any snap to it, and his huge arms seem to weigh him down, limiting his speed considerably. He also doesn't know how to find the range so his punches will land, and he ends up pulling his right cross too many times, which opens him up for punishment. In the end, he just got whooped through and through.
There you go.
We have finally reached the most satisfying video on this list. We have Charlie Zelenoff again challenging another well-trained fighter. And this time it's the current WBC heavyweight world champion, Deontay Wilder. Just look at the difference in size. How the hell did he think he had a chance against this guy? Zelenoff had actually been trolling and abusing Wilder for years over social media. The final straw was when he threatened to kill Wilder and tape his daughter's mouth shut. This statement got Wilder really angry, and you can hear him telling Zelenoff that this was the reason for the beating he just gave him.
Don't stop, man. Yeah. All that like, huh? Rematch, let's go.
Yo, not right now.
It is gonna be right now. It's on where I'm here.
I'm done.
He's done. He's done. He give up. Let him go.
It's gonna stop, man. Huh? Don't you ever, don't you ever call me a don't you ever say you gonna take my daughter around.
Zelenoff is one of the biggest trolls online, going after all types of fighters and calling them out, and he got what he deserved from this great fighter. Kind of wish they would have let it go a little longer, but maybe this was enough for him to learn a lesson.
I'm the best. I'm still the best. Man, when the seniors knocked out.
I'm good, man. You can't hold. You know I can't.
Oh, man.
One of the biggest things I fear about fighting is looking like a fool when you get your butt kicked. But then again, I don't know if it's worse looking like a coward if you back down from a fight.